Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Griff.
I'm Baka.
And I'm Newbie.
And we have, Baka's
Yes.
friend Newbie is joining us today. So, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's going. I gotta remember which way to point. I'm just pointing at the wrong person.
Oak is out of town this week. He is at PAX West, so he'll be back next week, probably, as long as nothing catastrophic happens. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yes.
So, it's okay. This show's gonna be so good you won't even notice he's gone.
Wow. Damn. Shots fired right out the fucking gate. Someone turned on those afterburners and just went for it.
Cold-blooded.
Holy shit.
Somebody's using aimbot today.
Damn.
Well, so, what games has everybody been playing this week?
Probably there's one answer between the three of us.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys have been
PUBG.
together all week.
PUBG.
PUBG.
I heard that you guys managed to get your first squad chicken dinner. Is that correct?
Yes, but Newbie was not there for that one.
Yep.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought it was him
No.
and not Red.
No, I didn't see him online, so I was like, oh, maybe he's out running errands or something like that. We'll just, we'll go ahead and play a game, and I'll text him after. Yeah, we ended up getting our chicken dinner. Wow.
Yeah,
You know
I-
what? I find it much harder to believe now that I know it was Red and not him.
Wow.
I
we
have
need
a
to
picture
report
on my
her for this aimbot shit going on here. Like, Jesus.
Shots fired. Nobody's safe today.
I
Apparently
was
not.
foolishly out walking, getting exercise in the sunlight while everybody else was
Getting a chicken
kicking it
dinner.
up in
Hiding
games.
in a dark place. The only light is a computer screen.
Yeah. Every time the blinds go up, he hisses.
It was a poor decision to focus on health over playing
Exactly.
getting chicken dinners.
Hell.
Yep. Could have gotten one. Chicken
Let that
got
be a lesson to you, kids.
Chicken got his second one this week, too.
I got my second solo one, and by the way, the second solo one was fan-fucking-tastic. It was legitimate, not like my bitch first one, where I just didn't even do anything and just hid the whole time. This second one, I killed 5 people and just... Oh,
So
man.
should we call this your first real chicken dinner?
Yeah, my second chicken dinner, my first, aggressive one. And, man, my heart was racing so much when I fucking killed that son of a bitch, because I saw him coming up the hill. I fucking jumped out of my chair and just started
Run
hollering.
around the house, but nobody was here to see.
Yep, it was so great, because it's like a redemption. Because the first one, I won. I was the last one surviving, but I didn't kill anybody. This time, I killed people constantly. And, then I
All
finally...
5 of them.
5 of them, come on now. it was great. I fucking killed somebody in the shelter with the M249. Yeah. The light machine gun. Just mowed his ass down. Then I killed somebody hiding. They were looking at the crate. Killed him. Somebody blended into a rock, and I didn't even realize they were there until they shifted a little bit. Killed him. And somebody was hiding by a rock, and I killed them. And then the last one was just one-on-one. It was real intense. It all happened with the AKM. So,
Wow. It's brutality right there.
oh, it was good. It was so good. It felt so good too. Getting that one and then
Right.
getting the squad
He was
one.
also the bait for the squad chicken dinner, and then the last guy went charging at Red and knocked him to the ground, and then I was hiding in the grass with a shotgun and just went boom.
Yep. We
You
Well,
guys essentially played
because-
it like the Raptors in Jurassic Park.
Well, you gotta remember, for every shining chicken dinner, there is also a darker side, which is that your teammates in squad, unfortunately,
you son of a bitches. You had to go there quickly.
I
had to-
actually started thinking about when I tried to do duos with Kyle before all that, and him flipping the vehicles twice.
He flipped 2 different vehicles. He flipped one, almost killed Baka, ran back to get the other one, flipped that one, and Baka just ran back to shoot his ass because they weren't going to make it to the circle.
I also heard last night, I was in here playing, and Chicken came in, and he's like, "You will not believe this, but every one of my squad mates has killed me at least once tonight."
Everybody
The team
fucking
kills are real with you guys.
like everybody killed me last night. It was unprecedented. Like holy shit. Like I'm down and then Newbie just comes up. Oh shit, I thought you were the other one.
They were invading the house. It was a home invasion. I had to go down and protect the house. And he's like, Newbie, behind you. And I'm like, huh, da-da-da-da-da. He's like, no, further behind you. He was dead. I had shot him, and then I got shot. He was on the ground. He was already laughing because he's like, I can't believe you killed me. I was like, well, don't come down to me behind you.
Mine was more accidental because the only weapon that I had to go try to save chicken was the Uzi, and I am a horrible shot, especially when it's on auto. Like, I just unloaded, knocked down the other guy that was in there, but in the process of it, I sprayed and hit chicken multiple times.
Yep. Alright, so you've heard those two. They're accidentals. Newbie, behind you. Oh, it's you. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, chicken, you're in trouble. Da-da-da-da. I'm going to kill you too. All right, no problem. Reds was... Oh, my God. So we're flanking a house. He's shooting into the house. And I come in from the front door, and I kill the guy he's shooting at. No big deal. Like, I knock him down and then kill him. And then I go out the side door. And... Okay, this is just ridiculous. I shoot him a couple of times, and Red's flanking from the backside, and he turns towards Red and knocks him out, and then I walk out the door, and Red finishes him off, and then Red just looks at me and fucking lights me up and then kills me.
Like on purpose?
No, he thought I was his partner coming out of the damn house, so he's like, no! I was like, that was me, you dumbass! So, I fucking died right there.
It's alright. You've killed us. I mean...
That is why I switched to colorblind mode, some bitches. I can see much more clearly that you are my partners now.
And see that...
How does the colorblind mode change it?
It changes it from like a light blue to like yellow. So it does
okay.
not blend into any of the colors into the map. You can see it very clearly. So...
I think everybody might need to do that.
I knew chicken was on the ground. I was just trying to kill the other guy.
Oh, you know.
It's not my fault that the gun went...
Yeah, it is. You didn't have control over it. It's kind of like getting
this
into
is why I don't use the Uzi.
It's like getting into a fight where you're like, yeah, what's up? Just shooting
just
and
flailing.
Yeah, just flailing with the
Spray and
minis.
pray, motherfucker. Spray and pray.
I'm surprised you just didn't throw the gun at him.
That's why
I actually debated about grabbing a frag grenade and throwing it in there. We just get rid of everyone.
What
And I
about
was
the
like,
same
no,
outcome,
he might
though,
be
chicken?
mad about that.
It's
No,
a total
I'll just go in there and
nuclear
shoot.
Yeah,
Shit,
the
he's gonna be
nuclear
mad
option.
anyways.
Need rocket launchers, actually.
You guys are the worst.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel bad about not playing with you guys. I
Some,
don't want to get shot.
like, sometimes it's just ridiculous. We got into a boat fight at one point.
With each other?
No, with the squad who rolled up on us. We started shooting them, and then they took off. And we still started shooting at them, and they were out there. And we got their boat to blow up. We took a boat out there and started hunting them down in the water. Then they killed us. No, wait, they started shooting us, and we took
got
off.
rid of the squad. We got killed by someone else who was up on the shore.
Yeah, it was bitch.
Yeah, I got 7 kills in one game, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah,
I'm
one of the
not
games he
complete-
carried the shit out of us. Him over there carried the shit out of us. But then from then on out, he hasn't done much carrying. He took his backpack off and just said, "Nah, I did my one time."
I know
well, you
it's
need
kind of
one.
jumping ahead to the news and everything, so we'll come back to what we're playing, but there's a piece in the news about PUBG, about the next map. Are you guys like super pumped about that? It says it's an 8x8. I don't know what generally the maps are. So...
The map currently is an 8x8. Each square is a 1 kilometer. Which is
so
pretty...
that's not actually changing size, but it's just going to be a new map, right?
Yes,
Yep,
which is
it'll be desert.
which is awesome.
Which
I
means
like the
people
map.
are going to be going nuts trying to get specific clothes to try to blend into the
Sand
environment.
and whatnot.
Well, also from the pictures, I mean, you have more dense population zones. You also have more than 3 stories to explore, so you've got opportunity for hiding and camping if you're that kind of person, which most people are in PUBG.
Yeah.
And I imagine it'll have different vehicles to go with the environment too, and hopefully, like an extra gun or 2, depending.
Yeah, totally. I can't wait to see how the their next big update is supposed to be introducing vault mechanics, where you're able to jump over things rather than having to run at a wall, jump at the right time and miss and hit the wall, and like have to back up, jump and then hit the wall, and you're like, fuck this, I'm going around.
I've died so many times because I messed up on the jump. It's like, I'm gonna get no, fuck, I'm dead.
I do hope though that if there is a desert mechanic, they take some notes from Metal Slug and put in camels with machine guns.
Oh wow, that would be quite interesting.
I don't think they will, because I mean, you can blow up all the vehicles and things, destroy them. I don't know if they want to like have
blow up
shoot
camels.
The camels. Yeah.
Oh,
No. Just do car mechanics. It just the camel has a white smoke and then a black smoke, and then before you know it, it blows up. And then
So we're talking about mechanical camels.
Mechanical
Yes.
camels? Mechanicals?
Sure.
Mechanicals.
I think people would be less opposed to shooting mechanical camels, which you're right, it is hard to say that.
Mechanicals.
Mechanicals.
There you go. Mechanicals? Camels? Mechamels? There we go. Mechamels. Mechamels. Alright, anyway.
Get out.
Uh,
Just, you know what? Go.
Yes. Yeah. But we're playing a shitload of PUBG. It's a lot of fun, and every time you just jump into a round, you either play stupid or play smart.
Yeah, usually the last game of the nights we like to go, we're gonna go stupid and just jump in and just. Yeah, we actually tried doing that multiple times last night, and like normally in the beginning, like as soon as you can hit F, lots of people just like jump out and go and try to get weapons. Both times, like we were the only ones who jumped right away.
Yep.
When we're trying to just, we're gonna go derp and we're gonna go and just get guns and just fight for our
Punch
lives
people.
real quick. Last game of the night, hurrah! No one jumped with us.
Yeah, there was no hurrah at all.
There was a wah wah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yep. Well, that's...
What's that noise from The Price is Right? Boom, 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 boom.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week. I played a little while, Little Heroes of
That's
Storm.
not true. We played some D&D, all of us
Oh
together.
yeah.
Newbie
We played a
finally got
little
to join
D&D.
in.
A little bit of D&D.
And Baka's character got arrested.
Yep.
Arrested
For
in
not
prison.
wanting to leave a bar that is known for arm wrestling because people are racist jerks.
Hey, it's a real live fantasy world. Yes.
I know.
They have problems too, man.
Yeah, it's not a utopia. They have problems.
If it was Utopia, they wouldn't need
Everyone
your
just
heroes.
needs to go find druids and learn how to live like hippies.
Hippies, all of you, man. It's okay.
That was fun. We had some fun this week with that stuff.
Yes.
But and I know it's not up on YouTube yet, and I know Snitty's gonna be like, "Oh my God, when?" Because I keep telling him soon, and it keeps getting pushed off.
To be fair,
swear
every company
eventually.
has sued and trademarked. Soon.
I swear eventually.
Trademarked.
Sometime when we feel like it.
It's
Yes.
gonna be awfully boring to watch for a long time though, because I don't know how to animate or anything like that. So you'll just be watching the tabletop table, and I'll edit out my rolls because I'm not showing the DM's hand. So
DM's hand.
Oh,
The
so we
DM's
can't,
cheating hand.
We can't cheat for future endeavors.
Nope. Nope. What have you played this week, Griff?
I started. I know you want to talk about it. I started Final Fantasy finally. Final
15.
Fantasy 15. It's hard to keep up with what number we're on now. Okay.
How is it
The
hard?
one with
This is
the
the
boy
first
band,
one. This is
that
the
one.
first one you played. You
This is
don't
the
have
first one that I've played.
Did you finally cave to all the endless campaigning that YouTube's been doing for Final Fantasy 15?
Have they been? I mean, I really don't know.
Every video I try to watch, it always inserts that Final Fantasy flash game that they have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I see that on Twitter. It's like Square Enix really went all out on spending marketing money on that specifically.
It's on Hulu, it's on YouTube, and now you just mentioned it's on Twitter. It's just
Yes.
infected the internet.
It's also on Instagram. Like, I've seen a bunch of ads for it on Instagram too. They're fucking everywhere with that shit.
To be fair, when I played the game, they would talk about it in game. Do you guys want to play a round of something, Knights and something?
Yeah, they said it last night, and I was like, "What is that?" And then we went camping, and they were all playing on their phones. I was like, "Oh, it must be a mobile game."
And it's an actual real fucking mobile game. I didn't believe it until like I looked it up, and it's a real fucking mobile game. They are advertising their mobile game inside their game with their characters playing their mobile game in a game.
You know, why do more people not call out Square Enix for being like that?
Because
you know
it's
that
subtle.
Game's probably full of microtransactions, right?
Oh, it is. It's subtle though. Like it's the character. Like I said, I didn't think about it seriously until I got further in the game, and they kept mentioning it. I was like, "Is that real? Like, did they actually?" That would be so interesting if they made the game that they like to play in the game a real game, and they did. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
The Witcher did Gwent. I mean,
that's true, but they
that's
did
a
Gwent
card game.
after they released The Witcher. Like, it was one of those things that people asked about it a whole bunch, and this is like, we preemptively did this.
Yeah. They were like, "We're gonna make."
Nobody
this game.
asked about it. It just, was already there.
Something. I'm gonna try and remember. I'm trying to figure out what it's called.
But I started that this week. The combat is really different. I'm super glad it's not turn-based, or else I wouldn't be playing it, because turn-based is not my bag at all.
I think Kingdom Hearts really changed the game on that one, as far as taking the JRPG and turning it into open world live reactions, but still you have to have magic, you have to have physical damage, and you gotta still stat out, and you still have to do the grind.
Yeah. The grind is definitely still there in some respects.
Oh, hey, I meant to ask you last night, Chicken, while I was playing, because I'm at, like, level 15 or something with my dudes, and, I haven't put any more of those little sparkly star point things in. Is it going to tell me when I get those, or am I supposed to go look at that?
Oh, you're just supposed to go look at it. Periodically throughout, it'll pop up with, like, 1 AP, 2 AP, 10 AP.
Oops. I guess I'll have to look at that later. I forgot about it.
It just helped. That's fine. It just makes the game a little easier. But I'm surprised you forgot about it. Like, whenever you go into the menu, do you not look at the options?
I don't go to the menu that often.
Do you not equip
I do
things?
everything from the map.
Do you not equip things? Do you not do the RPG aspect of the RPG?
This is Griff we're talking about.
It's oh my god.
I guess not. I mean, I totally forget about it, okay?
It is an RPG.
You're totally missing the fun aspect of time wasting, where you gotta get items, swap out. Is this one good against that monster? Is this one great against that monster?
See, I don't like that kind of micromanaging. I like, here's your skill tree, put some points in, swap out your gear every once in a while. That seems like way more work.
It's Final Fantasy.
That's JRPG.
I know, it's like, what did you expect?
Okay, but to be fair, this is my first Final Fantasy, and my first, like, longer attempt at a JRPG, because the first time I tried a JRPG was Persona 4, and my PS3 crapped out. So I didn't get to play it for that long to get to that point of micromanaging everything.
Well, once you get the hang of this one, it becomes very easy. Like your Elemency, creating magic spells and whatnot, you'll be like, all right,
I tried to do that, and it told me no. So I needed to ask you about that, too. I was like, oh, I've got all this fire stuff, and Chicken showed me how to make a potion thing out of it, so I'm going to do that. And then it's like, you can't do that. I was like, okay, whatever, not using it anyway.
Well, that's fine. We could go over it. But, you just fill up your magic flasks and then use them in the situations that you need to. Pick your weapon of choice and then just change out your accessories every so often.
You kids today with all your new streamlined functions. I was there for the real days.
Me too.
Final Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy 8, 9. Oh, God.
It's micromanaging. See, this kind of mechanic, like, in-depth micromanaging everything about everything is why I put off playing Dragon Age for so long. Is because I knew that that's how it worked in other games, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want this game to feel like a job to me. And Dragon Age is like, you have a point to spend. We're just going to put an arrow on your character portrait until you do it.
In the first Dragon Age, that is the only instance of it. Second and third, no. You can
Even the first one, I didn't feel like it was that bad. It's like, here's your skill points, and you have to pick out the ability that you want to put your point into. I didn't feel like it was that bad.
It was on a role-based system of damage. So
that's true.
You engage with your character, and then you have your stats, and it's just like when you play D&D. There's a invisible thing that rolls for it when you can't see it, and that applies to the damage that you're going to do.
Yep.
Second and third, straight up, you just push a button until something stops.
That is very true. That's why I was a big fan of the first Dragon Age. Is it added that I guess RNG factor with the dice rolls. It kind of felt a little more RPG rather than or I guess pen and paper RPG than just your typical slash and kill, burn and kill everything.
That's what made KOTOR so great. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the very first game, worked on the same system. Even if you had a lightsaber, still didn't guarantee that you were going to slay everything in the game, because it still does damage and it still does that rolling system, like I said.
Yep, true. I know there's another game that I cannot think of right now. Oh, Divinity. Divinity does it really well. Like, they do it fantastic based on your basically your stats, opposing stats, your resistances, their resistances, and then it rolls and then adds it, and whoever wins, that's what happens.
That's why I'm waiting on you to play that game with me.
Divinity 2 is almost out. Oh,
I know, and you still haven't played the first one with me.
11 days.
He hasn't finished the first one with me. I get dibs on this first grip.
Everybody needs me. Oh, woe is me.
I don't know, isn't that a great feeling?
No.
I mean, I could play it with Red. Doesn't he have it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I could just play with Red and you can play with Baka.
Or we can all play Divinity 2.
Motherfucker. I did not buy the first one to not fucking play it.
You bought the first one to support Salarians Studios.
I bought the first one because you said you'd play it with me.
And I will play it with you when you've got time.
When we're 80. I will remember this. When we are geriatrics in the nursing home.
You're playing Final Fantasy.
I am playing Final Fantasy because he made me. It's not that I didn't want to, but he's like put his foot down and been like, you need to play this right now.
Says the woman who is pushing Prey and Mass Effect Andromeda on me so hard that that's all I can see. It's like, are you playing these games yet?
Okay.
You playing these games yet?
First of all, that's not true. Secondly, way to bring our personal life into everything. I have mentioned it like once this week to you because we bought Prey like 2 months ago and you said you were going to play it so we could talk about it because I wanted to discuss theories with you and you still haven't done it.
You just said I made you play Final Fantasy 15, which I did not.
I played the game all the way through twice for Prey.
I want to play
there
it
you go,
again.
Rick. You have someone to discuss theories with.
Finally.
Name one of your theories. I'm on it.
I don't want to spoiler it for somebody else that should be playing it soon.
Okay, so from the trailers you can gather that there is aliens. There is definitely a theory of what is real, what's not real. And
they did a really good job with that aspect of it too. What's real and what's not, and how much you know versus your character.
Without getting into spoilers, if you want to do that, you can safely say the game makes you question reality to such a degree that your character has to, like, when you truly pick how your play style, it affects the overall way that you make your character feel like either they're grounded in a good archetype or negative archetype, and they're facing reality or an illusion, and they're chasing down the hero aspect or they're chasing down the conspiracy. And that's interesting.
It was really, really well done. I mean, Arcane made some fails, like the whole demo thing was an issue and whatnot, but overall, the game is worth playing. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. It's still probably my favorite game that I've played this year.
If you've got any diehard fans of System Shock and
BioShock, like, I mean, they might as well be one and the same anyway, but it's very similar.
Yeah, System Shock and Deus Ex combined together to make a perfect child. Shall I say that is.
Without the bullshit from Square Enix in the last Deus Ex game.
Well, it's because Prey is still lacking in some places that I would wish to see more of, such as weaponry.
I felt like it was realistic, though, in its scope of things that you could pick up to use. And there were only, like, seriously a handful of weapons that I did use anyway. Like, once I got past, once I got to the part where I had my glue cannon, I pretty much stuck to that and the wrench and the pistol became like a backseat weapon for me and then I got the shotgun and then I didn't need the pistol at all.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like the diversity of weapons. It's like, why is there not an assault rifle? Or in this science lab that actually works on ballistics, why not a railgun?
There is a railgun, sort of. It's, fuck is that gun? I only used it a few times because I didn't care for it. It didn't do the amount of damage that I wanted it to.
Yeah, there's that laser weapon.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
But that's...
And the little stun gun thing ended up being way more effective than I thought it was going to be on a lot of stuff. I was like, I'll never use this. It looks like a toy. And then closer to the end of the game, I was like, well, I'm out of ammo for everything else, and this is in my inventory. Let me check it. Oh, God, why have I not been using this?
Because for some reason, extra-dimensional beings that are literally transmitting themselves through energy are affected by stun guns.
Well, it's because it disrupts their normal electric abilities, and, you know, basically you've added an extra jolt that they weren't expecting, so their body has to compensate for it.
They're literally throwing mind bullets at you.
Some of them are. Some of them are just
bullets.
throwing their hands at you because they're rude. Fucking rude-ass aliens. But it was really well done, and Chicken, you need to play it. I will, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that I need to play.
I know, and instead you're playing like 16 hours of PUBG a day.
Totally fucking worth it. Don't you dare say it's not.
I will say you could probably
chicken dinners
just...
make it all worth it.
I will say this, if you want to play Andromeda, just do the main story quest and be done with it.
No, do all the side stuff too. Well, not all the side stuff, because some of it's just repetitive bullshit, but like your crew missions and stuff, do those.
Like the mining aspect, or NPCs that are just like, hey, I left my insert random item of nonsensicalness here at the base on the other side of the planet. Can you go get it for me? I'll give you like 150 credits.
See, I would pick up all of those quests and be like, if I'm in the area, then I will do that. But there's not a whole lot that I'm going to go super far out in the middle of nowhere for one quest kind of things. And then luckily, like later in the game, you'll end up with 3 or 4 more quests over that way. So.
Or like the, can you pick up random plant on a planet that's really difficult to find because you overlook it?
But that really wasn't that hard though. If you were doing that quest, because it's pick up 10 plant species, Andromeda plant species, and bring them back to the Nexus so that they can basically start trying to grow them and see if we can eat them and shit like that. And it's like,
See if we can eat them. Who wants
you
to
got
test?
that pretty early in the game, and you could just have it in the background, and your scanner thing would always tell you when you were like close to one.
I agree that it's not that hard, and I agree that those can be fun. However, the reason why it falls short is because they don't flesh out the development of the setting through those quests. Like saying, oh look, this plant has so times development and it developed.
Yeah.
So
Andromeda had a lot of shortfalls, and fleshing out things like that is definitely one of them. But I don't think that it made it any less interesting. I just think it left one of those, like, I'd like to know more about this, or why we're doing this, or what the after effect of me doing this was. You know, did me picking these 10 plants and bringing them back to you help in any way?
No,
kind
not
of thing.
at all. No.
Exactly. In Mass Effect 1, you didn't care that you were only on, like, you only got to drive the Mako on 16 different planets. It was
I'm
fun.
so fucking glad I didn't have to drive that piece of shit.
Dude, you like the damn thing.
One?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you like the machine in Mass Effect Andromeda?
No, I really don't like the driving in any of them, but I use
fair.
it because it's a faster travel.
That's fair. But
I'd rather be out running around.
the Mako in the first one was a goddamn indestructible mountain climbing beast.
This one is too. It's the fucking Skyrim pony in space.
Exactly. This is the baby version. That one had one mode, and it was badass. That one has.
Mako had a machine gun. It was a mobile tank rover. That was a cool concept. You could shoot that gap with it, and you could blast colossuses that would appear, and you could just drive vertically up mountains, and it was fun.
What mountain? You just go right up and over it.
Yeah, it was fun. And then the fire spray, or the fire whatever, it was just a hover thing that basically you only got to go on a track for, and when you'd mine for resources, it would sputter all over the place.
I didn't do the mining.
Science, because
I was
science
like, whatever.
does it.
I've not cared for the driving in any of the Mass Effect games.
In 3, you don't even get to drive. I don't think
you do. It's just 3 is very, like, they went back to, we'll drop you off on this planet. As soon as you're done with this mission, we'll pick you up.
Yeah.
That's what it was in 3. Because you got to explore the
that.
solar system. Yeah. And then in the latest one, Andromeda, they bring back that you can explore planets, but you only get cool car that doesn't have any weapons on it. Has a shield.
It's because they went that way because, and they explained it like in a late game quest, is, you know, basically none of our ships came here with heavy weaponry because it was supposed to be a peaceful exploration, which I'm like, bullshit! You went to another fucking galaxy without fucking big-ass guns on your ship?
These bastards
really?
have never seen Star Trek then. It's like, oh yeah, we're on a peaceful exploration mission.
With sniper rifles,
because we're
assault
being
rifles.
peaceful doesn't mean someone else is not going to be peaceful.
I know. I mean, like, they planned for their ships possibly being boarded by having weapons on board, but didn't put big-ass guns on the outside to prevent that?
And you brought 3 major races that were warlike cultures. The Salarians are the covert ops. Krogan are the whole military race.
Which doesn't make sense anyway with the Krogan, because we were still dealing with the genophage, because it was Andromeda takes place after Mass Effect 2, so we haven't cured it yet.
And the Turians are all about war. Are you telling me that the humans got to decide it? It's like, hey, we made the Pathfinder project and we want to go into a foreign territory with no guns. Really?
No
You've had like
deal.
3 intergalactic wars with deadly alien races in your own galaxy. How do you think that there's not going to be anything out there with deadly abilities to kill you?
I mean, it made for an interesting, like, it would have made sense if they would have been like, sure, the Tempest, because that's where it comes up in the story, is the Tempest doesn't have any guns, ship-mounted guns. It's like, okay, fine, that was actually an exploration vessel, specifically to explore. It's meant to be fast and covert and be able to, like, leave if there is any sort of conflict. But that doesn't explain why you didn't put any guns on any of the other ships. Like,
okay, that partially doesn't make sense. In the first game, the fucking Normandy was a goddamn covert, special ops, super fast stealth ship. I mean, the motherfucker had stealth!
And the thing had a huge-ass gun on it that ended up killing Sovereign at the end of it.
Exactly. Why didn't you just make another Normandy or a ship like it?
I think that they felt like, and I can kind of agree, it feels like if you have a ship that's supposed to be lithe like that and lightweight and meant for like fast running, not heavy gunning, because your hull's not going to be reinforced. That's why you spent time in 2 reinforcing all of your shit, is because the Normandy wasn't supposed to be made for that kind of combat.
That's true.
Scenario.
It lost at the beginning of 2.
But the Normandy SR2 had that perfect balance.
Yeah, it was the best of all the worlds.
You had to build that perfect balance, though. It didn't come like standard out of the shop with that.
Yes,
but they built it. No, you got to do the upgrades.
You had to upgrade your ship.
Yeah, you had to upgrade it.
You had to upgrade it to make it more powerful to deal with the Reapers.
Yes, very true. The collectors.
Not to deal with other things in space. To deal with the... collectors were Reapers, but it's like...
Spoiler, oh my god. Anyway.
If you haven't played Mass Effect yet.
Yeah, it's simple. They could have just made a better version of that ship. I think it was a very unthought through, but like, oh no, there are no weapons on this thing.
I can
Normandy
see what they
SR2,
wanted to do. I just see where they failed so badly at it with that. Like, I get it, what you're trying to say. But realistically, you guys have had space encounters before. You know that's not how it's going to go. Yep. I mean, make the guns concealed so they come out if you should need them. That way you're not like a big giant warship swarming up on these people that don't know what's going on. But still, have them.
Well, how about this? How about, oh look, we arrived into the galaxy and it's a hostile environment. Let's get all our team together to mod out some decks on our ship to basically put some mass drivers and guns on there to defend ourselves, and then make a warship.
Maybe they should have gone that way, or maybe they were going to go that way, and then the Nexus ended up heading the Scourge, and so they had a lot of problems because when you get to the Nexus, there's minor spoiler. There's like nobody there because over half their people have died or been exiled and crazy shit like that. So maybe they just didn't have the resources. Doesn't explain why they don't do it later on, but they didn't have the resources at the time, maybe.
Okay, spoiler, but to better explain what you just said, the Nexus went first.
Right.
And they built it, and there were people there. The problem was that when they got there, they were like, oh, the planet they were supposed to use to get the stuff off, it's none of it. So, when that happened, they were focusing on survival at that point. That's understandable.
I mean, they were scrambling to live.
Yeah,
when the Pathfinders get there, they already have stuff that they can, help and modify out. So that's when
but depending on how quickly you go through that, some of the Pathfinders don't show up for quite a while, if at all.
Send one Tyrian cruiser, just like send a harpoon Tokyo. Just be like, oh, we'll just drag this along with it just in case.
There you go. Just harpoon it
We'll
to the
throw
necklace
this.
and carry it with us. It's a mobile
Yeah.
gun.
We're all going through space anyways. It's not like it's going to be a big deal. It's like, oh, look at that.
I don't think tow cables would work quite as expected in space.
You never know.
Just saying.
I think they just made a mistake. Going in without defense is a dumbass idea.
Yes. Yes, it is. And anybody that's played any game based on shooting things knows that.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like, I respect the fact that they let you, at the first encounter with anybody, like any of the creatures in this galaxy, they give you the option to go with protocol, which is handle it in a non-violent way and, walk in without your guns, or to go ahead and go guns blazing.
Is
Like,
it
okay,
so
so we've given that option, but...
Shoot everything up. We're here for peace, motherfucker.
Is it so ridiculous to think that you could just, tow cable behind one of those Pathfinder vessels as opposed to advanced, super combined Reaper technology, which are bio and mechanical. They're synthetic organisms. But the best way that they know to eliminate an entire planet is to land on its surface and walk very slowly, shooting red beams of death at things? Wow. Wow.
Now all I can think of
That
is
takes
like,
forever.
Yeah,
Really?
True, but I mean, you saw on
This
Earth,
is the best
they landed
way.
like 50 of them, and they were just eliminating everything. The ships are near invulnerable.
You're an advanced race that's been around since almost the beginning of time. You'd think you would have had technology
but
that's like,
giant
look,
death laser
planet,
gives the right
purging
dramatic
beam.
element. Come on.
And they
Wow.
wanted to absorb the people too. You saw what they were doing at the end of Mass Effect 2, so they wanted to abduct as many people as they could too.
It was
I
the
guess they
first
were doing
one.
targeted assault so they could get the scattered
They weren't just
survivors.
going, all right, nuclear bomb. All right, that planet's gone. Let's move on to the next. They're like, no, we're going to assault the planet. We're going to target cities, and we're going to abduct people.
Okay, so now it
Yeah.
makes a little more sense.
Yeah, but if you're going to pick a race, it's like, hey, you're worthy of being a synthetic bioorganism. That's why, spoilers, they were creating a human-looking Reaper. But then what happened with 3? Everything's a crab. Everything's a crab landing on a planet shooting a red beam at a
I thought
planet.
that they looked more like bugs.
The
Like
Prothean,
giant
the collectors
bugs
were the
or
Protheans that they changed
Wow.
into Reapers.
Wow. Like, where are the other where's the Krogan Reaper? Or, a Reaper that looks like...
Krogans are so scary that Reapers didn't even want to.
Or it looks like a dinosaur. Like, they were like, oh, look, dinosaurs are so advanced.
You know what?
We
Reapers
wiped
should
out
have
the
just made
dinosaurs.
Zords and been done with
Weren't
it.
they just cloning the Krogan at the end of the first one? The Krogan cloning facility? The Krogan were already superior beings to everybody else, so they were just going to clone an army of Krogan and use them.
No,
Were they? I don't
Grunt,
remember. That was a long time ago.
Grunt was made in order to...
No,
be
not
cured.
Grunt. I'm talking about in the first game at the end, when you find the facility that they are cloning all the Krogan in. They're creating a Krogan army. The Geth were.
Oh, the Geth. I thought you meant the Reapers.
No.
I was like,
Well,
I don't remember anything
maybe they
about
were
that.
just using them until the Reapers were ready?
Or the Geth knew about the Reapers and were trying to create their own army to fight the Reapers because the Geth knew that they were coming.
Well, the Geth did know a whole fucking lot.
Yes.
No, there was they explained this in 2 with what's his name, Legion. There's a division amongst the Geth because one sees the Reapers as the old gods, and then there's
Yeah,
the
other
other
side.
Geth is just like, no, they're a total dark alien race with evil agendas, so we're separate. So the Geth that you're fighting in the first one are the ones that are following the Reaper's will, but they have all the upgrades and everything like that makes them more enhanced. So it's the Reaper's plan if they were using, and I can't remember the mission that you're talking about.
It's the very last one, like the end of the game. It's where you
See,
have
I
to
don't remember it well enough.
you have to choose who you sacrifice at the end.
In Mass Effect 2?
No, the first Mass Effect. The end of
in
it,
the
you have to
first one.
choose
Okay.
between Williams or Kaiden. That one where you basically
Williams.
nuke the fucking base that they were cloning Krogan in, because you can't afford to have another Krogan army unleashed
I
on the
think I
universe.
didn't realize that that's what they were doing. Like, I knew they were doing science stuff for badness, evil science. But I don't think I realized they were cloning Krogan.
Yeah, that's right. That's because that's why Rex gets mad. He's like, "This. They're trying to cure the genophage," is what they were doing.
Or were they curing the genophage? Oh, yes, you're right.
They were curing the genophage because they realized that the Krogan, if they repopulated as fast as they did beforehand, could be manipulated then to work with
the Reapers.
People. They would kill the Salarians, and then they would kill everybody else because they would basically be the dominant force in the galaxy, and then the Reapers would just go. But
yeah, then you'd have Reaper Krogans, which would be a big problem. Big problem.
Yeah.
So that's why you had to stop them, because they were basically learning how to create Reaper technology with Krogans.
Woo. Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, that, okay. I guess I just didn't realize or didn't catch that part of the story.
Yeah, when you brought up, I remember Rex being mad at the end of the first one. Like, you have to decide, because at that point, Williams can shoot him in the back, or he'll shoot Williams, or you can kill him, or you can talk it out. Like that.
I talked it out.
Yeah, I talked it out too. That scenario can turn
Rex
pretty bad.
Is the best.
Rex is amazing.
Yeah, I always made sure Kaiden was next to the bomb as close as possible.
No.
Yep, right here. Kaiden was.
Hey,
Griff is,
go arm the bomb.
Griff is the odd person out.
I am. I was like, sorry, William. See you later. Kaiden staying with me. I love him. So I will have to do at some point a second run through it so that I can romance him. But Garrus was first. Sorry, Garrus is just awesome. Fucking Garrus, right?
Okay, Garrus is fucking awesome.
He is.
He's the only one in
the best character in the first three games.
Okay, him and Tali are the best, in my opinion. Garrus and Tali.
I don't know. I kind of liked Rex more than I liked Tali.
But Tali is in all three. Rex is.
Well, I know, but I mean, I felt more of a tie to him than I did to her.
Like when Tully was drunk at the bar, and she's like, "I have an important induction." It's like, "You need a straw?" It's like, "No, it's important induction."
A straw. It's okay, Tully.
Kaiden, if you try to talk to him in the first game, all he talks about is basically all of his problems that he could easily solve by just manning up, but he doesn't do it.
See, I didn't get that. I mean, he has issues, but it's because of how they treated him during biotics training, because early biotics training, and even Cora kind of talks about this a little bit, but it was really shitty and really shady, and they did more harm in that training than they did good, and left him and a lot of other biotics really fucking broken.
Because they had the Mach 2s, and then he's like, oh yeah, they give me headaches occasionally from time to time, but I was really interested in this one girl at camp, but I was too shy. And I was like, oh, God. Well,
I found him super endearing, and I really liked him.
You just find him charming because he's so,
He's so broken.
He's like a puppy that you can manipulate.
No. He's a puppy that you can pet.
I was gonna say, I don't think that I would be interested in manipulating him in any way. That makes me sound like a fucking asshole.
No, it's not you. It's anybody who likes Kaiden Alenko's character. It's just because he's so innocent, basically. Because it's like he's been through the hard stuff, and he's kind of a battle-hardened person, but ultimately he's not very assertive. He's more like a beta personality. Where Ashley Williams is like over the top gun ho.
But I think that's
I was like, you
perfect.
need to shut your fucking mouth, Ashley, because I'm fucking tired of you talking about your racist big tree bullshit.
But that's perfect, though. You have these two polar opposite characters. Kaiden Alenko is a subordinate. Like, he just does what he does, and he lives his life without, pushing the envelope very hard. Williams is the opposite. She's brash, she's hard to deal with, and she's more hardened and willing to push forward. Like, that's why they made those characters such opposites, and then forced you to choose.
Correlation is you guys, well, not all of you, but there was bitching in my D&D game about the racism issue, but you'll defend Ashley Williams, who was racist for her reasons too, and that just makes her a brash good character.
Okay, first of all, I was not
racist. She was cautious.
She was definitely racist.
First
of all, I was not mad about the racism in your world. That's just how the world is. There is no perfect world. It makes it more real.
Yeah, if it was perfect, it'd be boring.
Exactly. That's why, people who are like that and then are willing to come from that are deeper, in my opinion, because you see them develop and their views change on people. which is why it was so interesting, because she's like, are you sure you want to keep those people? And it's like, what do you mean those people? You wanna specify? She's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. It's like, yeah, that's right.
It's like, yeah, you did mean it like that, and now
I
you're
called
backtracking.
her out for it, for sure, and I would take her along with Garrus or Rex and like force interaction. And
I took her on one mission, and she was kind of bitchy and snippy, and I'm like, you can just stay on the fucking ship then. Peace out, bitch. I'm back to going with Rex and Garrus. My aliens everywhere.
Her dad was in the First Contact Wars. He was the first person to surrender to a Turian. And that's why she has
she
bad
had a chip
reputation.
on her shoulder.
That's why she has a general distrust of aliens. But the thing about it is when you talk to her about it, it's not that she thinks that, it's humans first and aliens last. It's not that humans are the superior race. It's that aliens, when given the opportunity, won't act like humans.
Huh.
And they think that we are beneath them because we still have to earn our place in the galaxy. So when you tell her, like, hey, we all have to work together in order to get through this stuff, she's like, oh yeah, I see your perspective. I guess I'm just holding that hatred and harboring it over time. That's the difference between that and then saying, like, what I feel in my heart is that the Salarians are an inferior race that need to be mass exterminated in Holocaust because they are evil and awful.
It's true. Because, humans get treated like shit on the Citadel because we're the low race. So, her point of view has some validity to it.
Things, yes?
They made characters with good dynamics, is what it is. Because they give you things like this kind of debate about their motivations and things like that, and they're not all the same.
Which is why
everybody works
so
together
good.
and rainbows and ponies.
40-year average lifespan for a Salarian is too long, in my opinion.
Oh, you don't like the Salarians?
They are awful. They are awful individuals.
I love the Salarians.
Name one good thing that they did for the galaxy, because
they created the genophage, motherfucker.
They created the genophage to stop a growing problem that would have resulted in everybody but the Krogan being dead.
No, they uplifted the Krogan to stop that alien bug race.
Yeah,
and then when they did that, then they were like, okay, now you're too powerful, so we're going to nuke your balls. And then it's just like...
But it's better than killing them off in mass. Basically, it's better than being like, we did something for you, you helped us out, now it's time for you to fucking die. They tried to fix the problem.
What problem?
The problem that everybody would be dead if the Krogan got to mass produce like they wanted to.
They shouldn't have uplifted them in the way that they
genetically
altered the
product. Rock in a hard place. What do you want to do about it? Die here, or hopefully figure out what we can do about the Krogan in the future if they become a problem. They did become a problem. They had to fix that problem. And then you had Morden Solus, who decided, if you let him, to cure the genophage.
Okay. All right. Let's unpack this real quick.
All right.
In the context of the story of what happened with the genophage, the point of the story is that alien queen that you find in the one side quest.
The Rachni Queen.
The Rachni.
The Rachni. Forget their names.
The Rachni.
The problem with the Rachni is that they had basically been like the Zerg. They've been interacting with alien species, and then they were getting too cocky, and they started to start taking over planets. The Salarians were like, okay, we're going to go out and stop this threat. But because the Rachni are so adaptive, they're finding they're difficult to kill. So they're like, okay, well, they reproduce quickly and they're adaptive species, so we can eat something equally as destructive. So they find the Krogan that have a nuked homeworld, and they're like, okay, they have all the traits that we need in order to be basically Zerg 2.0. So they uplift the species, they give them space travel, they send them out to fight the war, and they give them all these bonuses, and then once the Rachni are basically pushed back to extinction, then the Salarians are like, okay, cool. You were a tool, a means to an end, so now we're just going to eliminate most
That's
of
not
you have.
true, though. The Krogan became a huge problem.
Yeah, they started
that
wars
is why
with
it
all
wasn't
the
just
other species.
we're done with you. Let's end the problem here. It was that the Krogan became warlike amongst everybody else and wanted to push out and conquer the galaxy for themselves.
They weren't organized. They started to fracture into war bands because they basically operate like the Klingons without the kingdom aspect of it. So once they created the genophage to create stillbirths, basically everybody started to turn into mercenaries. But they still had their own aspirations. They wanted their place in the galaxy to be solid, like a society. But the Salarians said no. You're too destructive. So much so with infighting that you nuked your own homeworld. You're too much of a possible threat.
Oh no! Hold on. That. Right here. The Krogan rebellions were a major conflict between the Krogan and the Citadels. The rebellion started moving onto already populated planets and destroying the civilizations that were there. The Citadel had no choice but to force the Salarians to make a decision on how to handle them. The Krogan were the rebellions, not like the main Krogans. The rebellions were getting too far out of hand for the Citadel to deal with, because the Krogan started basically taking over planets that were uninhabited. Then they inhabited all of those planets, and then started moving into planets that were inhabited and started killing off those races. And basically it was like, we could just let them keep killing everybody, or we can force somebody's hand here.
Okay. Then what happens in 2 is that the scientist Morden Solus,
right?
Yes.
Changes the reasoning for it, because run, and you talk to the scientist who talks about trying to fix the genophage, and you learn more about why Morden Solus was the only option.
Right, it was the only option.
Then that changes the story from what it explains in the codex of the first game, which says that basically after the Genophage War happened, the Salarians said that the warlike culture was too much of a possible threat, so they needed to basically control the population.
It means that they either retconned or that codex was theoretically written before things had escalated, because they were possibly a problem and then became really a problem.
Well, I mean,
so huge spoiler here.
Chicken just said that they started out doing, taking over unpopulated areas. That's probably about the time that I would say that they went, okay, this could possibly be a threat. But, if the Krogan actually started attacking populated areas and going, well, we're going to wipe everything out, this is our place now. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a threat at that point. I mean...
So, huge spoiler here. Because it is actually a mission that gives the big review. So, if anybody... I don't know...
Which Mass Effect game?
This is Mass Effect... It's Mass Effect 3.
Okay. Just in case, so we can... If you haven't played that one, you can stop listening for a second. Whatnot. There we go.
Yeah, for about, 5 minutes. Because it's just going to be a short explanation and then commentary.
Okay.
But basically, a huge revealer in 3 is that the Turians were the reason that the Salarians were able to successfully put the genophage
the Salarians made the genophage bomb, and the Turians are the ones that delivered it, essentially.
No. The Turians put a nuclear bomb on the Krogan homeworld.
Yep.
That was Plan B.
Yep.
The Turians helped the Salarians build the atmospheric generator that keeps the planet from going completely radioactive death. And that's where the genophage is released.
Yep.
Because it's continuously spreading out the genophage. But then they put the cure, and then that fixes everything. However, with the Turian decision with the Asaric and Salarian Council, they're just like, hey, we need to control the Krogan. The problem with it is, the reason why I say Salarians are the most evil is because this was their mess that they made in the first place, and they still don't own up to it. And throughout the galaxy, they see everything, because they're a scientific race, as a means to an end. That's why they don't have a military. They have covert commandos. That's why they have a huge scientific development, and they don't care about genetic experimentation. So
I disagree with that on a few levels.
Okay.
I don't think that they see everything as a means to end, and I see that some of them could feel that way about it, but I don't see the race as a whole. Yeah. Being like, oh, everybody else in the galaxy, every other species is just a tool for us to use as we see fit, because we're really in charge here. I never got that impression from them as a general species. Sure, some of them, but that's also the same with some of the Turians and some of the humans. And
alright, let me give examples. The Salarian Council. It basically doesn't believe that you should be elevated to the status of...
Spectre.
Spectre. because he just believes that humans are reckless.
Yep.
Then you have Morton Solus, who is the scientist who's basically helping people to work on the disease. He's like the Dr. House who's basically trying to solve the puzzle of the problem. And his younger researcher is working on trying to cure the genophage. And he ends up having to kill his associate because he's like, this is wrong. You can't do this. You're basically doing genetic mutations. You need to die. But he's like, well, I could keep the data. It'd still be useful. And that's the thing. It's like they rule out moral hindrances to their development.
I will agree with that because the Salarians are a highly logical race. They think about it in logic, not feelings.
The merchants
like Vulcans.
The merchants that you meet all end up having to deal with you in some form or fashion. Just basically, they're so busy that everything is just kind of arbitrary. It doesn't matter to what they're doing. And in the new Andromeda game, even that guy who got upgraded to the council when the Nexus arrived.
Tan.
I mean, his cold approach to everything makes you think that he's sort of pseudo a villain.
I just feel like he's an asshole, though. Like I don't really feel like he's indicative because you have the complete opposite of him with your ship. One of your ship, not your captain, but the guy that flies your ship, your pilot with Callow, who's a really nice dude.
The only time you get any humanity out of the Salarians is when you have Morton Solus on your ship and you have to force all of your moral positivity into him. And he's like, you know what? Yeah. The more you talk to me, Shepard, the more I begin to realize that the good alignment is really what I should be striving for, and I need to fix the problem that our race created. And that's how you get his character in 3.
Yep.
But without that, he's just basically a generic Salarian who has no moral hindrances and focuses solely on the scientific
community.
Scientific
advancement.
Industry and advancement, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just what Salarians are. They're highly logical, and that's what makes Shepard the greatest. I mean, like we were talking, Williams in the first one, you force your opinion onto her and force her to change her opinion. Shepard, everybody around him basically takes from him. Whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, your people's their opinions change based on what kind of man Shepard is and how he leads.
Or woman.
Or woman, what kind of person they are. And then everybody takes from Shepard.
I personally think the female voice actor was one of my
way better. Jennifer Hale knocked it out of the park.
I like playing as a female character more than I like playing as a male character.
Yeah. I didn't play male Shepard because I didn't like his voice actor. It's the same reason I didn't play female Ryder, though. I didn't like her voice actor. I liked the male version better.
So that's just and I hope that doesn't come off as, like, too biased. Like, it seems kind of rational to put that on Salarians as to why I don't approve of their race. It's a rational approach to it, rather than like them because I don't like their, beady-eyed character design.
I like their character models. Their eyes are so big and weird.
They're geckos.
They're geckos.
They're cute. Like, they're so weird that they're cute. Except for Tan. He can go fuck himself.
Damn. And
that
the Salarian council member.
And you'll probably think the same thing.
The Salarian council member. Fuck that guy. I am a Spectre, goddammit.
The council as a whole were dicks to you for way too long.
Yeah.
In general, all of them were just dicks for way too long.
Yep. And to be fair, the Salarians didn't even want to use the genophage. It was supposed to just be a deterrent. That's it. They were supposed to threaten the Krogan and be like, if you don't stop, we have this now. And hopefully they were going to stop. But they gave it to the Turians, and the Turians were like, fuck this shit. The Turians were the ones with the ideology of eliminating a problem or stopping a problem so that it does not become a problem later. So it was the Turians' call to use the genophage. They're like, fuck this, we're just going to go ahead and use it. And the Salarians are like, you're using bioweapons to destroy an entire race? It's a big call.
One of the fun parts about Mass Effect in the first game is that you begin to realize, if you look at it close enough, that the aliens that are out there in the galaxy after you sort of become jaded to what the individual needs are. So, like, you know,
That is very true.
The one person, like, matters as a part to the whole. And that's why it's like in any fantasy setting, like Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica, or, you know, any kind of where you're have an incredibly advanced race. Humans, why they always seem to triumph, is because they seem to win while still being noble. Like, caring about the individual, they still manage to
but we
conquer
paint
and win.
ourselves that way. Humans can be real fucking assholes and very selfish assholes
Yeah.
at that. But in games, like in media, we try to paint humanity as like, you guys, look at us. We're so great. I mean, just look at us be awesome and charismatic
We're
and
going out
pragmatic.
of our way to
and
help this other race, and we're fantastic.
We like to be the heroes because we're
Why-
the ones writing the media.
Why do we love Shepard so much? Because Shepard, depending on even if you're renegade, kicking ass, doing things for humanity, wins. But if you choose to do the good options, which is the Paragon, if you're choosing to be a beacon of humanity, bringing everybody together, still wins. And manages to defeat the bad guy at the end of the game. Every race is getting their ass kicked, and they're the ones who are focusing on basically everything that's supposed to be tactile in response. Building military development, working together with the scientist race and the warlike race, that we're going to tackle this as a logical, rational approach. And then Shepard throws the monkey wrench in there, where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to take the core individual awesome superheroes, and we're going to get together and form a Justice League of Awesome, and then that's how we're going to beat them, because we take the diversity of champions, and that's what gets shit done in the first game.
Yep, that's true.
And then you lose that in 2 and 3 when it's like, oh, it's the technology and it's basically the spam, push a button until things are dead tactics that get things done. That's where I say that RPGs like fall short in that development, because you love Shepard because she's a hero.
He.
Or
See.
that he is a hero that can win and take the human moral code with them into the battlefield and come out a success. Nobody else can do that in the galaxy. Pays a price at the end for that.
She hasn't finished the game, so ixnay on
Well,
the ending, eh?
It's not a spoiler because that could go.
I technically know how most of it unfolds, though.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm waiting on someone to help me with the multiplayer aspect of it so that I can get a specific ending.
Yeah, she wants a very specific scene set at the very end of the game.
I didn't know that there was one for playing multiplayer, but
Yeah, you have to get so much galactic readiness
Yeah.
bullshit points.
Yep. Yeah, I went through and did that like
So
shortly
did I.
after the game came out, and oh man, the grind for that one.
I ended up with about 8,000 points of galactic readiness. Or 8,000 military points, basically.
I don't remember
army-wise.
what mine was. I just remember that I had like the really good ending though, or the
Yeah.
I had
The
like,
quote-unquote
all
best
the races.
ending.
pulled together.
The ending that you pray for, that's real.
well, Christmas tree lights. That's all I'll say on that.
Yep.
But, I don't know. I didn't mean for this to devolve into RPG /
Mass Effect debate.
Mass Effect debate today, but I really don't feel like that's too much of a bad thing because the news was super short anyway. So
Yeah, there were only a couple of things. Vermintide 2 got announced. Nothing else has been shown. October 17th
details.
is when they will do a full reveal of it. So
Yep.
look for that.
Dead Rising 4 is coming to PS4 this Christmas, which was originally an Xbox exclusive last year, and then this year it's coming over to PS4 as a kind of Game of the Year edition, so it'll have a bunch of, basically all the DLC, and then some bonus content. So that'll be available, I think, in December again. Yeah, December 5th.
Yep.
So, yep. I mean, that was really it. There's one of the nice things Shadow of War is doing is that there was a developer who died of cancer during the development cycle. Gets to be what Chicken described as the mysterious stranger from Fallout 4, only in orc form.
No, he's not an orc. He's an orc slayer. Every so often,
Okay.
if you're getting your ass whooped, he will show up with his big, like, giant guitar axe and beat the shit out of the orc that is whooping your ass, and then kill it. And then kind of walks off in a snowy blizzard.
So yes,
It's
mysterious.
kind of badass. And all proceeds
it'll be
go to the family.
all the money for it that you pay for the DLC, which I think is like $4.99 or something
It's
like that.
$3.50.
$3.50. Yeah, it all goes to charity.
No,
So-
it all goes to his family.
His family. Sorry, it says charity.
It skips
And then-
over the charity and goes straight to the family.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I just misread that.
Yes. So.
Yeah, we'll worry about kids later.
Yeah.
Puppy shelters later.
His family needs help.
But that, I mean, like, really, legitimately, that was
it.
the mass of the news, and we went over it in like 15 seconds. So, we've been here for a minute, so I guess it's time for us to leave,
Yes.
so that I don't have to spend 6 hours trying to edit this later. Selfish.
Okay. Oak usually does our outro. I'll try it. Thanks everybody who listens and watches our podcast each and every week.
I like to see you struggle to try to end
You
it.
can go to infiniterespawn.com.
check
Hey,
out
look
the
at Bucky stepping
website.
up.
You could do things on the website.
You know,
Post
talk.
on forums.
Yeah, or sign up on the forums.
And we're also on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check the rest of us out. I'm at GripsLinum. Chicken is.
at Elite Chicken 313.
And Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
And Newbie doesn't have a Twitter, so you guys can't stalk him.
No, you can't stalk him.
He's too new. That's why we call him Newbie.
Yep. Too new. Who knew? New.
Okay, you're done
I
here.
knew-
All right, is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, I think we're good. So thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next
Next week, yeah. Bye.
Bye.